Hey guys, what is up? You got Quinera here, bringing you a brand new video, and then a lot of you guys have been asking me about this. I've gotten questions about it on Discord, so I thought I would just go ahead and get this video out for you guys today. So we are going to do a video on dual blade, the Lotus spec build. So I'm gonna pull up we're gonna go through pretty much all of it. I'm gonna give you guys a download for the XML that I'm using and what type of macro that I'm using as well. So we're gonna go through all the talents and all the enhanceable skills and all that. So let's go ahead and get started here. Here's my F2. This is my gear that I have. So you guys can take a look and see where you might fit, where your DPS would probably fit in, stuff like that. So anyways, let's go ahead and pull up our talent menu by pressing K. You can see we are on the Lotus spec, and let's go ahead and bring up the talents. These are the talents. I'll leave them up here for about a minute. So I'm using slash and turn, climate control, stepping stones, fire season, and prime attack. Like I said, I'll leave that there for a minute. This is probably I don't know if this is the best or not, but this is the one that I prefer to use. There's some different versions of this, but this is the one that I prefer. And we're gonna move over to the enhanceable skills here. Your two biggest damage dealing skills are gonna be Cyclone Slash and Lotus Slash, and then directly behind that is your Wildfire. And as for the XML, the XML is for simple mode. So you do have to have simple mode enabled for this XML to work properly. And as for Lotus, this spec can attack from a little bit of a range up to 4.9 meters. That's going to be the best for you, since Wildfire kind of travels 16 meters forward. You don't want to be directly on the boss when you use this, so way you can maximize the damage. So 4.9 up to 14 or 4.9 maximum meters to maximize the damage for Wildfire. So right now it's standing at 4.7, which is perfectly fine as well. And as for the opener, this is what you'll kind of use basically every 1 minute. Well, besides the breaker is what you want to use. When you're in a group, when you can do when your group party can do the most amount of damage. So especially on things like the new substratum and aerodrome, you definitely want to have those timed correctly. That way you can do a lot of DPS. So let's go ahead and get right into the at least on the how it's gonna work on the dummy, at least. Since the breaker bar doesn't get blocked out or right out or whatever. So what I start with is the talisman. You want to activate your talisman first. Then you want to do 1x. 1x will activate your breaker. This is called Unearth. It contributes a very large amount of breaker stats, but it also increases you get a 15% damage increase received on a daunted enemy. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go through this slowly. I'm going to show it to you a few times. That way you can get this down correctly. So we're going to start off with our talisman. We're going to do 1 and X. Then we're going to do tab. Then we're going to do L and B. That way we can get our wind buff, as you can see here. We get the wind buff that increases your movement speed and the number of strikes and cyclones in the Cyclone Slash skill. And it has a pretty long duration. So you should have 100% uptime up on your wind buff. There is the earth buff as well if you're having problems not being able to keep your focus up, because this will go through a lot of focus. I know on my very low geared dual blade that I have played Lotus on, I would always run out of focus a lot. I don't know if that's changed since I haven't really played on that account. But yeah, there is the earth buff, and how you get that is doing upturn and then downfall. You can. I don't know if you can really do that with this XML. You probably could, but the way this XML works, you can just easily activate the wind buff. because you do want the wind buff because you're going to do more damage. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and reset this dummy. We're going to go through the opener once again. So that is going to be Talisman 1X for the breaker. You're going to tab for your pedals. You're going to LMB so you can get your wind buff just like so. Then you're going to do tab again, and then you're going to be able to do your wildfire, and then you can just hold down RMB or use your macro. So as for the macro, you're not going to be able to see my program, but I am using a SteelSeries mouse, and I'm using just a T macro with no delay at all. So there's no delay on this, and the best way to make sure that this is all working for you is you go to your settings, you go to your key bindings, you go to skill use, and then on BNS mode, at the very top here, you want to make sure that your contextual skill slot 1 through 3 looks like this, RT and F. Same thing for class mode. I'm not sure if it really matters, but just make sure it's on RT and F. Apply and confirm. Now, it's going to, I can't remember if I had to reset that or not. So we're just going to go ahead and go through this opener once again. So you're going to do Talisman 1X tab LMB, hold down RMB to get your wind buff, and this does automatically do your what the hell is it called? The fucking wildfire. So yeah, it's supposed to. If it doesn't, you can just hit tab to get your wildfire on RMB. So as for the macro that I'm using, it's like I said, it's just a T macro. I have it set on repeat while held. That way, I can just hold down the button, and it's going to spam it faster than it's going to spam RMB faster than it was if I was just holding down RMB. So I do that because that way, if I'm in a boss fight, I need to be able to CC at appropriate times. And if you're having an auto, like just a toggle macro, I mean, you can still work around it, but I prefer just to be able to let my finger off my macro button. That way I can properly use my E or my Q or my double S. That way I can properly iframe. You also have, with this build, you also have your X for iframes as well. So there's a lot of iframes. You have your E, Q, S, S, and when you E, you can SS, and then you get your E back, and it's vice versa. And you can have your Q twice as well. So you want to make sure that you're setting at least up to a maximum 4.9 meters. You don't really want to be too close. It's going to be preferred to be like in the 4 meter-ish range. So we're going to go through this one. Once again, I'm going to go through it a little bit quicker, just so I can show you the burst properly. So we're going to go Talisman 1X tab LMB RMB. And then as you can see, it'll activate your tab for your wildfire as well. Sometimes it doesn't, but it looks like it's working properly now. So, and I need to fix this to turn it on repeat while held. So we're gonna do that once again. We're gonna do Talisman 1X tab LMB, and see, as you can see now, I'm holding down my macro. Everything's working correctly. And I had about a 70 million DPS burst, and then when the wind buff gets down about halfway, as you can see it on the left side of the pedals, right down in the middle above my HP, you can see the bar for that. I just, to reactivate it, I just hit LMB, that way I can get the wind buff back up. So once it gets about halfway down, it's gonna reactivate it, and if you're holding your macro, you might have to hit it a few times as well. So yeah, as you can see, it's working out pretty well. I did the tab automatically for me. I'm going to activate my wind buff once again so that I can go ahead and get that back. So you should have 100% uptime up on your wind buff and your badge, your Mystic badge. So yeah, this the Lotus spec is really easy. It's a completely like brain dead spec. That's why it doesn't do nearly. It doesn't do nearly as much burst damage as fucking shifting blades is going to do, but you have a lot more mobility with this class, or with this spec. And that's what I really like about it. It has really good sustain damage. I will tell you that this spec sustains nearly as much as the shifting blades does. The highest I parsed with Lotus was 60.2 million. And the highest I did with shifting was like 60 to 63 million. So yeah, I mean the burst damage is really good. But yours, like shifting blades, is always going to do a little bit more damage than Lotus will. So this all comes down to: do you want that little extra DPS that you can do, or do you want to be able to have a little bit more mobility and have less sustained damage? So yeah, this is really what it all comes down to, basically. So yeah, as you can see, I'm holding around like 16 million or so, which is what I've been parsing. I've done quite a few parses to see if I can maybe get this a little bit higher or anything like that. But yeah, I've done about 9.66 billion damage in 2 minutes and 40 some odd seconds. Sorry this video's been kind of all over the place, but yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave your questions down below. I will have a download link for this XML in the description for you as well. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Next video I may do a shifting blades guide with the auto burst XML, so you guys can just let me know if you want to see that or not. See ya.